Imagine slipping through a narrow, hidden corridor, the kind of passage you might overlook in a dusty, worn-down house, and suddenly entering a vast cavern hewn from soft volcanic stone. As your eyes adjust, you realize this is not just a cave. It's a city, carved stone by stone, room by room, deep below the surface. Welcome to Derinkuyu, the legendary underground city of Cappadocia. Here, deep beneath the rolling hills and fairy chimneys, whole communities once lived. At its peak, Derinkuyu may have sheltered up to 20,000 people, complete with livestock, food stores, chapels, stables, and even schools. This is not myth, this is ancient subterranean human engineering. The story of Derinkuyu begins in antiquity, carved into the soft volcanic tuff rock that makes Cappadocia's landscape so distinctive. While the Phrygians, 8th to 7th century BC, are often credited with early excavation, the city evolved over centuries. Archaeologists believe that its expansion continued through the Byzantine era, when Christian inhabitants used it as a refuge from raids and religious persecution. This wasn't a temporary hiding place. People built with purpose. Living rooms, kitchens, cellars, even wine presses and chapels. Each level had a function, each tunnel a reason to exist. Over time, the city grew, deeper and more complex. Walk through its tunnels now, and you're struck by the silent ingenuity. Massive rolling stone doors, millstone-like, could seal off entire levels. These weren't flimsy barriers. They were carefully crafted, heavy, and built to protect those below. Ventilation was critical. Derinkuyu features dozens of vertical shafts, some up to 70 to 85 meters deep, according to detailed architectural studies. These shafts didn't just bring in fresh air. They also served as communication lines and even provided water in some cases. On different levels, you'll find a carefully planned layout. First floors, kitchens, storage rooms, stables. Middle levels, communal halls, meeting spaces, living quarters. Deeper down, a church, possibly a school, and intricate staircases spiraling into the depths. According to interior architecture research, there may have been 52 main ventilation shafts, connecting the levels and helping circulate air throughout the settlement. Here's where things get even more fascinating. Recent research has reconstructed the soundscape of Derinkuyu, the way it might have sounded when people actually lived there. Sezen Naz, an acoustics researcher at Istanbul Galata University, analyzed architectural spaces, a church, a living area, a kitchen, and recreated how sounds would resonate. Footsteps echoing down corridors, voices carried through ventilation shafts, whispered conversations bouncing off stone. She discovered that the same shafts used for ventilation also helped transmit sound, a dual purpose built into the architecture itself. In effect, Derinkuyu's design wasn't just about survival, it was about communication. The way air moved was also the way people communicated, possibly leveling the fortress in more ways than one. Naz argues that this sound-based design reveals not only architectural sophistication but also how people organized socially underground. What must life have been like for those 20,000 people? Imagine families huddled in dimly lit chambers, oil lamps casting flickering shadows on carved walls carved directly into tough rock. They tended to wine presses, cooked in rock-cut kitchens, stored grain and olive oil, maintained livestock, and practiced their faith in secret chapels deep underground. Vertical staircases connected levels. Narrow corridors guided movement. Stable rooms underneath held animals. The deeper levels likely offered cooler temperatures in summer and refuge from harsh winds or winter freezes above ground. The rolling stone doors provided more than protection, they gave psychological security. In a time of threat, closing a massive stone would physically separate those inside from danger outside. And then there were the water systems, ventilation shafts, wells, cisterns. These weren't simple pits. Some shafts doubled as water access, drawing up life-sustaining resources in times of crisis. Derinkuyu's modern rediscovery feels like a story out of a novel. In 1963, a man renovating his home noticed chickens disappearing into a wall. He knocked it down and revealed a passage they had been using. That tunnel opened into the sprawling underground city. Since then, only a portion of the city has been excavated and opened to the public. Experts estimate that large sections remain hidden, possibly untouched for centuries. Over the 20th century, Derinkuyu served as a refuge not only in ancient times but even in more recent history. Local Christian populations used it during periods of unrest, and its strategic value was never fully forgotten. But Derinkuyu might be just one piece of a much larger subterranean puzzle. In Konya, archaeologists recently announced the discovery of a new underground city, about 1 kilometer north of the known Roman-era Subterranean city. This newly unearthed site spans 20,000 square meters with 41 identified spaces. Living areas, workshops, ventilation tunnels, cisterns, a winery, storage rooms, even a large cistern that when filled could sustain as many as 20,000 people. Incredibly, tunneling studies indicate that this city is connected to Subterranean by underground galleries. Archaeologist Hassan Yugaz notes that they discovered a cistern about 63 square meters in size, with about 63 cubic meters of water during their excavation, enough water, potentially, to sustain a large population in long-term sheltering. They also found locking mechanisms, stone doors, guarding access to water sources, likely for defense against infiltration or poisoning during sieges. One of the most fascinating finds, a winery underground. Archaeologists uncovered a grape crush area made of marble, channels for grape must, and storage containers. They even recovered grape seeds and hoped to analyze them to identify ancient grape varieties that grew in the region 1,000 years ago. These discoveries hint at a far more complex subterranean network than we imagined. Not just simple hideouts, but self-sustaining cities with agriculture, water management, and long-term design. So what does all of this tell us about Derinkuyu? And about us? First, Derinkuyu is more than a refuge. It's a masterpiece of engineering. Its design, ventilation, acoustics, water systems all speak of careful planning and generational construction. The fact that shafts were used both for air and sound suggests that the builders understood how to merge function with social needs. People could communicate, pray, organize, all while safely underground. Second, this isn't just a standalone relic. The new findings in Konya show there may have been a wider network of underground cities, with galleries connecting them. That means communities may have cooperated, shared resources, or formed a subterranean society, a hidden civilization beneath the surface. Third, the soundscape research changes how we imagine life underground. It's no longer silent gloom. People conversed, prayed, walked, and perhaps even held gatherings deep beneath the earth, and the architecture amplified or modulated those sounds in intentional ways. Finally, there's a timelessness to Derinkuyu. Human beings, when threatened, did not only flee, they innovated. They carved out safety in the rock. They built in darkness. Today, Derinkuyu challenges us to think. If we were under existential threat, would we retreat, dig deeper, reimagine where and how we live? Derinkuyu is not fiction. It's real. It's ancient. It's a city of stone, echoing with the ghostly whispers of the past. But it's not frozen in time. New discoveries show that the subterranean world is still very much alive in our imagination and our research. So next time you see Cappadocia's surreal landscapes and fairy chimneys, remember, beneath your feet may lie tunnels, chapels, wine presses, and galleries carved by hands long gone, but not forgotten. Would you dare to descend? Would you want to hear those recreated echoing footsteps and prayers? Derinkuyu is the underground cathedral of human resilience. Let its walls speak, if only you listen.